This is the Ryder and Lisa replay.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai. Check out the Southtown Hyundai Advantage at southtownhyundai.ca.
Oh, this is terrific.
She's a little bit of famous and a whole bunch of shameless. Lisa meets a listener. Lisa meets a listener, yeah.
So some hot dudes yesterday in the subway.
I'd say, well, I could only see half of their face. They had masks on, but
It's been a long year.
the aura of them when they walk. When I heard that ding of the subway door and looked over, I was like, whoo! Two babes
All right.
wearing suits. They had nice, perfect, thick, slicked back hairdos.
Okay, easy.
So they walk in. I only went to Subway because you were busy and asked me to pick up your daughter from her mom's house yesterday after the show.
I was at the vet.
But she had to do online school as soon as she got back to your house. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just pick her up lunch so she can eat in the car and go straight to her class when we get back. That's fine. I'm like, what does she eat from Subway? These two hot babes were right behind me in line as I ordered. I'm not kidding. A white bun with ham and cucumber.
Which I think is a pretty normal order for a kid.
For a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's just bleach, pig, and water. Because cucumber is 95, if I'm not mistaken, % water.
Right.
The guy behind the Subway artist is like, would you like that toasted? No. Would you like some cheese? No. Salt? Pepper? No.
And the thing that bothers me about it is it's the same price if you get it like that. Like Subway's cleaning up when I go in for that order.
Dude.
Just like, how much would that cost them? Maybe $1 for those three
yeah,
items?
it came to $5.
Right.
It was a $5 sandwich. These two hunks behind me were sardonically laughing, like
Yeah.
I knew that they were, as they're loading up their delicious cold cut trios with extra banana peppers and sub sauce, salt and pepper. They're toasting it with double the cheese, and I'm standing there and I'm like, yeah, no, that's all.
Wrap it
I'm
up.
ready to go. Saying I was mortified is an understatement. They're lucky I had my mask on to cover the sheer shame.
Yeah. You know what I'll do when I order for my daughter? I'll get a foot-long sub, and then I'll get what she wants on half, and then the other half I go, and the exact opposite on the other half. And they're like, what? I'm like, everything. Like, I honestly get everything, maybe not spinach and lettuce, but other than that, like, go for it. I want to get my money's worth, right? Especially when she's ordering that lame
I'm not even
$1
going to
unit.
call that a sandwich.
Okay. So these guys are judging you pretty hard?
Oh, for sure. Like, I can only imagine what they were saying when I left. Even I bet the Subway artist was probably talking to them about it. They were like,
See that?
did you see that? She spent $5 on that piece of bread.
She's a little bit of famous and a whole bunch of shameless. Lisa meets a listener. Lisa meets a listener, yeah.
There's so many good documentaries coming. The one about Kanye is going to be unreal on Netflix.
Yeah, he's paid people to follow him around for like the last 20 years.
20
like
years.
before he blew up.
He just knew that that's confidence. Imagine having that much confidence to be like, all right, starting now, I'm going to need a film crew to follow me around because one of these days,
Yeah.
I'm going to be one of the biggest celebrities in the world.
Man, would the videographers ever be bored with my life? Like,
Okay, if you guys don't mind, I'm just going to game some Chell for the next 2 hours. You can film me if you want. If not, there's some soda in the fridge, and
Right.
I'll talk to you in a couple hours.
Play
On Play 107.
I know you were very excited about Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez kindling things.
Yeah, I was blown away that nobody else was as pumped. They dated 17 years ago, and they just went away this past weekend to Montana on a romantic getaway, and nobody cares?
Well, not nobody. You'll be excited about this. Have you heard of The Bitch Bible?
No.
Okay, it's a podcast. Jackie Schimmel's podcast, and Jennifer Lawrence was on it when she found out about Bennifer. And they were very excited.
Here, breaking fucking news. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are back together. They're on. home. They are on vacation with each other right now. They're in Montana.
Oh my God. Oh. She's so low maintenance and down to earth in Montana.
Oh, they're connecting in nature.
Connecting in nature.
So I'm sorry. Maybe I just need to react differently when you find things out like this and share them on the show.
Don't you remember that iconic music video, Jenny from the Block, where they're on the boat together and it's paparazzi?
And he's just touching her bottom.
Yeah, and he's like undoing her
lotion.
top, her bikini top.
Yeah,
those are
forget.
burned in my memory, and they're probably doing that right now.
But just on a smaller boat, because it would be tough to get a yacht to Montana.
Oh.
We want to hear your moments of intuition and whether you actually bought into it and made decisions based on your intuition or maybe against it and regret it.
We have some wild stories rolling in on the text line 780-784-7107. Allison said, in high school, a group of us drove into Edmonton to get McDonald's for lunch. I love that. Must be a small town.
Yeah.
No McDonald's. I just had this weird feeling, so I switched vehicles. The one I got out of got in a collision.
Really?
I have such a strong intuition. My friends will trust it without question.
Amazing.
Okay, Allison.
A lot of people would just put these stories down as coincidence, but I definitely think intuition's a thing. I had just a little moment of it a couple days ago when I got my confirmation for my vaccine while I was driving, and I could see my phone like I had it in my cup holder, and it just said AHS, whatever. And so I was like, oh God, this could be serious. I was like, rather than read the text, I need to pull over and read this text because I don't want to get a ticket. And as soon as I pulled over, and I would have been reading my text, a cop came driving by the other way.
Yep.
And there should be, safety should be the reason I'm not texting and driving, not getting a ticket. But it was just in the moment, I was like, pull over and read this. This could be serious. So obviously my intuition wasn't right because I thought that I must have had a close contact or why is AHS texting me? But it was a smart move to pull over.
Every time I think about cops on the road, one appears. It's so weird.
Yeah,
it's
strange.
so weird. Dominique wrote in saying, years ago in Montreal, I was walking home. This one's kind of scary. So just a heads up. Years ago in Montreal, I was walking home. It was about 7 p.m. on a Sunday. I got this very random, sudden gut feeling that I was going to get attacked. I was confused why I kept thinking that, as I was in a very safe neighborhood. It was a beautiful summer night. It wasn't even dark out. There were people all over the street. It just didn't seem sketchy at all. I kept walking, but I couldn't shake the feeling away. I took my headphones off, kept walking, and when I turned a corner, there were two people standing there and they mugged me. It was a bit rough physically, but overall turned out okay. Could have been a lot worse. Always trust and listen to your intuition. Dominique.
That's intense.
That is very intense. Thank you for texting in.
Yours isn't as intense, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So you were at a hockey game and you saw a guy and your intuition took over. Hit us up.
And I saw him walk at the top of all the bleacher sets, and I saw him, immediately locked eyes on him, and I was like, dang, he the one. He came down to where I was sitting, and I started chatting him up. And he actually left without asking for my phone number. And I was completely devastated. I was so sure that he was the one. So I ended up Instagram stalking him that night, finding him.
Nice.
And
that's some good detective work.
Yeah, oh, it was. FBI hat was out and everything. Turns out when he got home, he totally regretted not asking for my information, and he told me that he searched for me for 4 hours. But the name Jessica is really common, so I had no idea where to start. So I ended up adding him on Instagram, and we chatted, and we went to the park the next day, and I told him that I'm like, hey, just letting you know, we're getting hitched. And he was like, okay. And then a couple years later, we got married.
No way.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Did he have similar feelings like, wow, this is the girl?
I think he had a little bit of reservations because he was going through a separation.
Okay.
But he said a week later, he's like, you know what, I think deep down I did know.
Hey, that's so cute. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
You're welcome. Have a good day, guys.
You too, Jessica. Bye.
Bye.
We're talking about that gut feeling, that moment of intuition, and it came true. Ryder, you have a crazy story about a childhood buddy of yours.
Yeah, I was planning to go to my other friend's house, and I grew up in a very small town, so the houses aren't very far apart from buddy to buddy, but I was on my way to his house, and for some reason, I just pulled into another friend's house.
How old were you at this time?
16, 17 maybe. And I just walked into the house. Like, that's how we rolled. We never knocked or anything.
And you had no plan to see this friend at all that day?
And, like, I realized it. I remember vividly walking through the garage at his place, because that's how I got into the basement where his room was. And I remember being like, oh, I wasn't planning on coming here in that moment in the garage. But I was like, well, I'm here already. I may as well pop in and say hi, see if he wants to come to my other buddies with me. And I had no idea. I walked in and he was in pretty rough shape. He credits me with saving his life.
Wow.
Because he said he was in that dark of a place in that moment. And I talked him out of doing anything dumb or hurting himself in any...
It's just so strange because as a 16-year-old kid, it's just weird that you would
So it was so strange. Like, I'll never forget the moment in the garage and I'm like, what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah.
This isn't where I was planning on going. Like, really, really strange.
That's really cool, though, at the same time.
780-784-7107. What's up?
I have a freaky one for you today.
All right, let's hear it.
A number of years ago, well, it must have been about 20 years, a friend of mine, Cindy, she called me out of the blue. I hadn't talked to her for a while. While talking to her, I just tell her to watch on the left-hand side for a vehicle, especially at an intersection. And I didn't. And I said, well, if she calls me back, tell her. And a minute later, she called me back, and she never called me. So then I told her, I said, well, you're driving down the highway, watch on the left-hand side. Be very careful and pull to the right. So I seen her about a year later, and she's going, oh, my God, Jake. She goes, I was coming back from Fort McMurray, and then I remember what you said, and there were some vehicles coming, so I pulled my car over to the right. And just as I pulled it over to the right, a semi came by and wiped out the left side of her Mustang.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like, I get shivers every time I tell that story.
That's insane.
It was freaky.
Thank you for sharing. We appreciate it. And over to you.
So I never really had a reason not to trust my ex. He was a pretty decent guy. And then one day he was taking a shower, and I was just like, you know what? Look at his phone. Look at his phone. You're going to find stuff. Sure enough, I won't share exactly what I found because it's pretty graphic, but it was in the form of pictures. And yeah, sure enough, we don't date anymore.
No, I bet not.
Okay, this is a good reminder. If anyone else is listening right now, this is your intuition talking. Everybody go and check your partner's phone.
No.
Play 107.
It is time for Radio Shark Tank. What we need from you is your vote. Who would you rather invest your money with out of these two ideas?
Hey, Sharks. Do you often find that sitting in a waiting room can drag on when you're waiting for your appointments? Do you get parched sitting there waiting for your therapist to call you in, your doctor to bring you into another room where you'll be waiting potentially equally as long? Well, I can at least make the experience a bit more enjoyable. Hi, I'm Lisa Evans, the CEO and founder of Waiter in the Waiting Room. We're a pop-up drink and snack shop that will serve you some refreshments and appetizers while you wait to, let's say, get your root canal filled. Do you want a bowl of bread while you wait for your oil change? Here you go. We'll even throw in the balsamic and oil absolutely free. So what do you say, Sharks? Are you ready to help businesses thrive with positive Google reviews because nobody's hangry? And also get those 5 stars on our delicious caviar? Invest with Waiter in the Waiting Room today.
Ooh, I like it. My turn. Hello, Sharks. Ever want to tell the driver you just cut off that you're very sorry? Maybe you'd like the guy riding you like he's trying to break a horse know that he should back up a little. I'm Ryder, the inventor of Plate Pal. Our product will display a concise and impactful message on one's license plate, just very briefly, so the car one back knows what's up. Plate Pal can also be used... Plate Pal can be used to direct anger one's way, like, turn your headlights on, it's dark, you loser. Or, throw out another cigarette butt, and I'll be kicking yours. But also, it's effective to send positive vibes, like, hey, you little glass of water, I'm thirsty, and give your phone number. Smooth. Plate Pal, because sometimes the finger isn't enough, but throwing a brick at someone is too much.
This company's called Plate Pal.
plate pal? License plate.
License plate pal. Or plate creep.
Well, a little bit, yeah. Should be plate creep. 780-784-7107. Who you rolling with? Thank you for all the votes. It looks like Plate Pal is the winner for today's Radio Shark Tank.
Somebody said that a similar product already exists.
Yeah.
You're going to get sued.
No.
Yep.
I wish I could write a message on my Plate Pal and tell that person to mind their own business.
So, good job, all of the sharks that are investing with Ryder. You're getting sued and you're going to lose all your money. You should have invested with Waiter in the waiting room.
That's like saying the inventor of shorts, yeah, there's something already like that. It's pants. They're just longer.
Don't get me started on the Snuggie. That is literally a house coat worn backwards.
See? And they got away with it.
Drives me insane.
Plate Pal will be fine. So a new survey has revealed the most overrated shows for the pandemic.
I feel like I'm going to hate this list.
Yeah, I think you are as well. So coming in at number 5 was The Crown. Number 4 was Bridgerton.
Obviously, whoever wrote this didn't get to episode 5.
Because it was steamy, right? Same with The Crown, actually.
No.
There's some really hot scenes in that. Coming in at number 3 was Schitt's Creek.
All right.
What?
I don't care about this.
What?
This list is wrong. I'm done. I'm out of here.
You don't even want to hear the top 2.
I quit. It's hot garbage.
Someone get her? Coming in at number 2 was I Care a Lot, and number 1 was Tiger King. Are you coming back?
Ryder and Lisa.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai.
Play 107.